Hey everybody, good day. It's been a little while since I've done a summer of live, but that's how summer goes, right? Summer is not always the easiest thing to do, but I wanted to remind you that if you are joining us now, you can join me in this stream by going to nowstreaming.live/summer of live, and that'll get you into the Zoom room, the Zoom meeting that I'm also in right now, as well as streaming. So again, nowstreaming.live/summer of live will get you into the Zoom meeting that I'm in currently, and you can join the show, and it'll be a blast. So without further ado, though, I did want to talk a little bit about tech checks and what that is, and I'll be talking more in detail. So those of you who don't know, this Summer of Live is being streamed on my personal YouTube channel, as well as Podcast Answers YouTube channel, which is where I talk all about everything podcasting. And so that's where this will also be at. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit more in depth tomorrow about tech checks, what they are, why you should do them on podcasts, why you should do them. And so a little bit, what is a tech check? So if you're just a solo podcaster, right, you're going to want to check your tech before you go live. So if you're solo podcasting, the steps are going to be a little bit different than if you're podcasting with a guest or with a co-host. So essentially with a solo podcasting, what you're going to want to check is you're going to want to check if your mic is on, check your levels first, make sure that you're not peaking, make sure that you're not too low, make sure that as you're recording, all of those things are setting the same way. And I recommend and again, it depends on the hardware that you have, but the best thing that you can do is actually create like a cheat sheet to do that. And so that way you can get into having that. But if you're using something like Ecamm, like I do to stream and record on my podcast episodes, you can easily create a new scene and call it like tech check or something like that along those lines, and then you can put reminders in there all day of what you need reminded of, like Mike, I can't spell today, Mike at 80%. You can put all of your different things in there so that way it helps you remember exactly what you need to do. Like you can also say like, let's see here. You can also say, you could also go and do say what your cameras are. So camera A equals main camera, camera B equals guest. You can have all those things set in a specific scene like this, so that way you can go back to having it be really easy to just know what you're going to be putting in there and what you want to show as far as that goes. So again, if you're you can have a physical sheet, you can have a paper sheet, you can have it on as a scene in your streaming software. So like, for me, again, if I'm doing this, I can have this as my scene to remind me of the things that I need to go live. So essentially, a tech check for a solo producer, a solo podcaster, or whatever is going to be really simply just the things that you need to remember. So if you've ever flown or been with not like a commercial pilot, but a private or somebody who does it, who flies planes for hobby or fun, they usually have a tech check, or not a tech check, but a pre-flight checklist that they check and make sure they go down the list and say, oh, this is right, this is right, this is right, this is right. And so the same thing you can do for podcasting or recording or streaming is have those tech checks. And then when you're doing guests, the best thing to do is don't tell your guests show up at, let's say, 8:30, because you're going to start streaming at 8:30. Have them show up at 8:15. Make sure that their levels are right. Make sure that they can hear you. You can hear them. Go through those things. That way, when they show up, you don't have to postpone your show and run around with like a chicken with your head cut off because you don't know what you're doing. So those are the things that you can do for tech checks. Again, I'm going to get into this a little bit more on an episode of the Podcast Answers podcast, which is right here on YouTube as well as in any of your podcasting apps. And that'll come out tomorrow.